This is JCN Television 14, a service of the Jones Communications Network.
An eventful day in the country, one that will certainly go down in the history books as the countdown to election 2012 shifts into high gear. JCN News has team coverage of Nomination Day, complete with the fanfare and motorcades beginning right now. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Anthea Smith with your JCN Evening News for this Tuesday, April 17th, 2012. While the stage has been set and more than 115 candidates were today given a 3-hour window to nominate, and while there's no telling just what the final number of candidates will be, we have team coverage of those who made the cut. We begin with a report from our Makush Lapinda, who this morning traveled with the Prime Minister for his nomination in the North Abaco constituency.
Now, Anthea, Prime Minister Hubert Ingram arrived here at the Cooperstown Administrative Office around 9:20 a.m., the lead driver in a convoy of vehicles to be nominated the candidate for the North Abaco constituency. From there, he and his wife Dolores and more than 10 F&M supporters, at least 5 of whom are registered to vote in the North Abaco constituency, packed the administrative office where Mr. Ingram signed his nomination papers and handed them over to the returning officers along with his deposit of 4 $100 Bahamian dollar bills. He exited 10 minutes later to the thunderous applause of an even bigger crowd who literally rolled out the red carpet chanting "Papa or Nuttin' and we deliver." After a short prayer for Mr. Ingram's success at the polls, the Prime Minister walked across the street to Ingram Park, a stone's throw away from his Cooperstown home, where he thanked both his family and constituents for their continued support for what is his 8th and final bid as North Abaco's representative.
We have traveled far and we have made much progress. We have many more things to do. I wish to complete some of the things that we've started. One of the great things that we are hoping to do over the next year or so is to create the port in North Abaco. Work on which should start very shortly. That will help to produce better balance for the economic growth and development of the island of Abaco.
Mr. Ingram also commented on the Progressive Liberal Party and the Democratic National Alliance's push to have fixed election dates.
In order to change the system of government in the Bahamas about a fixed date, you need to amend the Constitution. Secondly, you need to have 2/3 majority vote in the House of Assembly. And secondly, the people of the Bahamas have to vote by referendum to remove that from the Constitution. So when this glib conversation takes place about fixed election dates, I just want the facts to be known to the public of the Bahamas. All right? It is not me who decides that.
And as for how he feels about fixed terms for the Prime Minister,
they had this for 6 times when Pillin was alive. When Pillin was in office, he had it. It was okay then. Now that Ingram is Prime Minister, it will change. Now, Mr. Ingram is running against the PLP's Renato Curry and the DNA's Soneth Lockhart, but if you're wondering if the Prime Minister is worried that his $400 deposit will be returned, Mr. Ingram said he will win both his seat and the government by a huge majority. Our Corval Python was over in Sanibel, where opposition leader Perry Christie was among those nominated.
This is the seat that Mr. Christie was first elected to serve in 1977. And today, despite the naysays from those challenging him for the Sanibel seat, a confident Mr. Christie, flanked by a sea of supporters, filed into the nomination room, confident not just that he would retain a seat, but that come election day, the PLP would form the next government.
Inside here is Fernley Palmer. This is.
So how are you feeling today headed into this nomination process?
We're feeling very good. This is a very important day in the country when PLP candidates will have ratified themselves now as candidates, and most certainly we are on the way to victory.
Mrs. Christie, when you look at the support today, how do you feel?
I'm very, very happy. Of course he's going to win.
Yeah. There's another one who has never been beaten, and you know his name. That's Hubert Ingram. They have never been beaten.
The Free National Movement's candidate, Ella Lewis, making her second bid in the Centerville race. After canvassing the area, she says she's confident that the momentum is with the governing party. I just want to say you're headed into nomination today. Do you mind sharing with us how you feel going into this election?
Well, I feel so good because the people of Centerville have decided that they want change and they are willing to go with me. And I am ready to work in the Centerville constituency, of which I am a resident.
Shelley Moss with the Democratic National Alliance says after failed leadership and poor representation, the people of Centerville are demanding change. Mr. Moss says despite all the hype with the two major parties, the DNA is the only party with a clear plan for the Bahamas.
Debates are off the issue, off the table now. Nobody's talking about debates. It's just a gold rush this, that, red splash that. The people in Centerville have real problems, and nobody is talking about, hey, what's your plan of representation for Centerville?
Equally as confident about victory were the various supporters outside the school who made the case for why their respective parties should win.
Now also you look at this when nomination day is, the 17th. The 17th of April. 17 is the number of victory. Check when election is. Election on May the 7th. Why you want to call election on Monday morning, May the 7th? 7 is the number of completion perfection. Under what's going on in 2012, you know, Papa get a spiritual daddy behind him.
Hey, tell me, why do you support the PLP?
Because it believes in behaviors and it gives us the opportunities to become whatever we want in this Bahamas. It doesn't tell us no need to apply.
I'm 21 years old.
So this is your first time voting?
First time voting. Yeah, man. P.A. Christie, the people in the area, he let $200,000 going back. The people in our area doing bad. The young men in our area, the young men in our area, we tired of them. The young people in our area, we tired of them. We really need them gone.
They suffer us.
Do you live in Centerville? Do you live in Centerville?
Yes, I live in Centerville.
So why is it going to be PLP?
All the way, because Perry's the man. Perry cares. We never see you, but Perry's the man. We can call anytime, any hour of the day.
Listen to me, PLP.
Why would a prime minister want to give people a job for 8 months and not full time? Why?
And so supporters from all political parties came out today to participate in this nomination process, proving that come election day, this is going to be one heck of a fight. Corvell Piper, JCN News. Our nomination day coverage continues now with our Sasha Lightbourne, who spent the day with candidates vying for the Bamboo Town constituency.
The Free National Movement's candidate Cassius Stewart arrived at the Carlton Francis Primary School shortly after 10 to be officially nominated to contest the Bamboo Town constituency. Flanked by his wife and 2 daughters, Mr. Stewart entered the nomination room with his supporters dancing on the outside to the sounds of goatskin drums and cowbells. And when he paid his $400 and received his receipt, Mr. Stewart said the race is already over.
I know that we will win this next election, we will win this constituency, and this is just making it all of the past 5 years. We got a lot more work to do, and we just want to complete our agenda. So we just ask everybody to continue to support the Free National Movement because we deliver.
Who do you think's going to win Bamboo Town?
Daddy.
What's your daddy's name?
Cassius.
Cassius what?
Stewart.
Now, next up into the primary school was the Progressive Liberal Party's Renward Wells, who came with a mass number of supporters. In fact, Mr. Wells came as part of a motorcade where several supporters came in 2 full buses, several trucks, and other vehicles.
It's on. The game is, it now begins. The PLP is going to win Bamboo Town. The PLP has not ran a candidate in Bamboo Town in 15 years. The PLPs in Bamboo Town are hungry to vote and to vote this government out. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about that. I mean, when I'm walking the streets, the folks tell me, don't even come to the house, it's in the bag. Mr. Wells, we done read, we know who you are, we just want this government gone, we just waiting for May 7th.
Not to be outdone, independent candidate Craig Butler also came as part of a motorcade. He told the media that gone are the days for the F&M and the PLP, and he is the right man for the job.
Oh, it's really good. Now we can go and get down to the real business and on May 7th become the next representative for Bamboo Town.
If you are successful, what are some of the first things you plan on doing?
Oh, when I am successful, the first thing I have pledged to do is the money allocated to the MPs, which was established in this last administration. We're going to immediately commence work on the community center.
Now, last but not least was the Democratic National Alliance's leader, Branville McCartney, who came with his own Junkanoo rush out and crowd of supporters.
I'm very confident that we will be successful. I'm very confident that we will be the next government. And we look forward to the 7th of May, and we look forward to taking this country to the next level.
Mr. McCartney, you said if you don't win, you will be stepping down. Are you still holding true to that particular statement?
Well, I'm going to win. God willing, I'm going to win. That is it. I'm going to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
We'll now go to our Theo Seeley, who is in South Andros today.
The pomp and pageantry of Nomination Day in South Andros got underway shortly after 9 Tuesday morning. Free National Movement candidate from Mangrove Key in South Andros, Ron Bosfield, was the first to successfully nominate. He was followed by Progressive Liberal Party candidate Ch14 Forbes. Third was Democratic National Alliance candidate Wayne Forbes, and independent candidate Whitney Bastian was the fourth and final candidate to be successfully nominated. Incumbent PLP candidate for Mangrove Key in South Andros, Ch14 Forbes, told JCN News he's confident with the support he received Tuesday.
The support we got today was one that was very emotional for me, because I know that the last 5 years have been very challenging for the community and also for me as a member of parliament. Moving around from, in this district, that is very much, as people know, so the dichotomized community, Central, Mangrove Key and South Andros, and to get back and forth and also to see your people. And also the expectations were pretty high. It's an island that has many challenges, and the people anticipated much are young people, the older people, health care, and also the basic access to funding to make things happen, to preserve their home and also just preserve their basic lifestyle. So today, to see the people coming out there and support me and the numbers they've done so is really a good feeling and a gratifying feeling. And we look forward to victory on May 7, 2012.
But on the flip side of things, Forbes' opponent, independent candidate Whitney Bastian, who previously represented the constituency between 2002 and 2007, told JCN News Mr. Forbes has failed the South Androsians. He's confident that he's now the man for the job.
I think the nomination process went smoothly. I think I was one of the last person to be nominated. I was not there during the first 3 candidates, and so I can't say, but as for me, I'm satisfied with the process, and I'm looking forward for election day when I would be elected as the next member of parliament for the Mangrove Key, South Andros constituency, which includes Central Andros.
And then there's F&M candidate Ron Bosfield, who also feels, as a newcomer to the constituency, he's exactly what South Androsians need.
We feel very confident that we are able to win this seat again. The government has done a tremendous job in the Bahamas and throughout the Bahamas, and delivering on the promises that it made. South Andros is no different, and based on the performance of my government, we have a good chance to win, and I expect that we will win.
Now, considering that the May 7th general election will be quite different than the election held in 2007, Mr. Forbes will not only have to compete against the F&M and an independent candidate, but he also must vie against a third party, the DNA. Questioned how he feels he would fare at the polls, here's what he said.
I am even more confident because my thing is that the PLP base is solid. As you can see today, we're going to win and win big in South Andros. This is a PLP country. The people expect much from me as a member of parliament, not only to be a PLP, but to represent them and what I do and how I deport myself and what I say. And that's what I plan to continue doing. And I've not let them down, and I'm not going to do so.
At the end of the day, whichever candidate is serious about winning the South Andros seat in the May 7th general election, he's going to have to understand that there are 2,400 eligible voters within this constituency. And if we divide the votes equally among the 4 candidates, whichever one wants to come out on top, he's going to have to secure anywhere between 650 to 700 of those votes. Reporting from the Bluff, South Andros for JCN News, I'm Theo Seeley.
Stay with us. Your JCN Nomination Day team coverage continues after this break.